Well, hello and welcome to Sky Tour live stream for this wonderful day, the 5th of June, 2022. I want to say hello to Greggy Gilgan. How you doing? Greg's early, and I think he's from Australia. And we have Mandy S. Hi, Mandy. How are you? Welcome to Sky Tour live stream. It's great to see you, and I know that we're going to have some fun tonight. So let's bring us up. Here we are. Ta-da. And we have finally attached and gotten up our high-speed internet out at the observatory. And this high-speed internet is, of course, courtesy of Starlink. And it's really fast. And as you'll notice throughout the night that there's not going to be any more delays in what we're doing. Apparently, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. So we'll see what happens. I'm still doing some housekeeping stuff, as you can see in the building up there. The telescope is not quite in the dark yet, but it's getting there. All right, I'm reading some of the comments here. I just got a pop-up notification. Usually, there we go. We just went to infrared up top. That means that it's getting dark enough for infrared. And hola, Greggy Gilgan. Yep. He's here from Adelaide. Excellent. Bucket list. Bucket list. Okay, this star right here that you see, that is Spica. And guess what? That's probably one of our Starlink satellites. Is it? Let's see. Come on. Oh, I couldn't grab it in time. It's moving too fast. This planetarium program does track those. All right, so we're just going to grab a little bit. Bring this up in here. And this little star is what I'm bringing up. Now I've got it set very, very low. Not resolution, but gain. Okay, and we just have to head east a little bit and pull this in. There goes another Starlink satellite right there. I think that is a Starlink for sure. I just can't grab them, they're going so fast. That's fine. Okay, so let's go into here now and let's increase our exposure time. All right, we come over here. We're going to say 100 milliseconds. That's a tenth of a second. And as you can see, it's brighter now. We're also going to come over here and connect our focusing system. Right, here we go. Focusing system is in. All right. Very good. And there's Anahata. And just 1 minute. I can't believe I did this. Sorry, Daryl. Joining me as always is Daryl Mason. Daryl, I don't know why. I think it's because I just drove back from New York today and my mind is all kind of mushy. I apologize. Daryl, please say something.
Something.
There you go. I'm sorry.
Hello, everybody.
I saw a knock knock and I'm going, why is he saying that? It's like, oh, for crying out loud, I thought you were with me. Yeah, my mistake. Sorry about that. I was at a conference all weekend and speaking and talking to a lot of people, and next thing you know, I had to drive home today from New York, and it was a several hour drive, and so I'm kind of tired, but I feel that I have to try this out because, as you can see, things are moving faster out there. You may not be able to tell, but we actually are getting much quicker responses to everything, and we don't have to wait that 1 second delay with everything anymore, because we have our Starlink system hooked up now, and the property owners out there hooked up to Starlink for us. And now we're connected, so it's a new era.
Hey.
Yeah, right?
Big time.
Yeah. Yep. I did notice that we don't have 100% uptime up down there. We do have Like it's like 94%, 95% uptime. And it's throughout a 24-hour period that some of those 14 minutes or so might not be available, but it's not all at once. So it's pretty cool. Okay, this is the star Spica, and if I bring up our planetarium system, you can see it. Look how fast that comes up. All right, and so we are on Spica right now, and I'm going to center it and then have the telescope do some proper alignment just one more time. So we're going to head to the east a little bit with the telescope.
If your internet does drop out, will the stream shut down, or what'll happen?
It depends how long it goes. If it goes for like a minute, then it may. But oh no, what am I saying? Totally sorry. No, it won't shut down at all. And the reason is because the stream would be this feed from the observatory would go down for a few seconds.
Okay.
But our stream is not related to. Our stream's related to it, but our broadcast is actually independent of that. It's actually a layer on top of it. And
Okay.
2,500 miles away, it's originating from here where I'm sitting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we're covered.
So
Darn it all.
will the screen just freeze, or what?
Yeah, it'll probably freeze and then say reconnecting. That's what I noticed the other day when I was just messing with it. So we're good. All right, let's align the scope. Boom, it's done. Look at that. Just a simple key press, and we've now aligned the scope. The coordinates have come in. All right, and Spica is at coordinates right now 13 hours 26 minutes 22. We're at 13 26 18 17. That's really close. And the up and down, or the declination, is minus 11 degrees 15:33, minus 11 degrees 16:30, and we're very, very close. So we don't have anything to worry about here. We are doing great. So what I'm going to do now, as you can see, that it's getting darker up there in the building, and I'm going to go to 100% on Spica here because it's going to be just a little out of focus. That's intentional. All right, look, I can slide around now. This is so fast. Remember, this took so much time to happen last time, and now it just happens immediately. That's really good. Okay, there is our crosshair. Whoops, I messed it up. Okay, let's just get rid of it and bring it back. And do it again. There we go. That's really neat. Okay, so... Alright. So let's make sure where we are. I think I'm going to continue to be... I'm going to have to send it out. I'm taking the focus out a little bit. There we go. So that when we actually do get dark enough sky, we will be able to do the autofocus routine. Everything is quicker.
Sure seems like it.
You were... What's that?
Sure seems like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it does seem that way, and we're looking for it. Hello, Izabela. Hello, Renee Cruz. Good to see you guys. I know I just started the stream just a few moments ago, so I apologize for the quickness of the stream. But we are obviously testing our new Starlink connection, and so far I am not disappointed. We are doing great with this. Yeah, we got some nice music. As I mentioned in the last streams, this is all new music. The credits are in the description, along with the table of contents that will be there from our wonderful Izabela, who is our just this amazing talent from Sofia, Bulgaria, who joins us in our streams every night we do this. Oh, yeah. We're just waiting for it to get a little dark, you know. Hey there, hi alpacas. How are you? I've been taking really awesome photos of the moon, High Alpaca says, with my phone. It's a Samsung Ultra 22. Well, yeah, that's really good because the Samsung Ultra 22 does have an astrophoto mode, I believe, on it, which you may want to investigate. You know, so that's a pretty good one. All right, so do that when you get a chance. I'd love to see the results. How can he get these photos to me? Oh, I know. You can do a post on our Facebook page at SkyTour Livestream if you want, and upload your photos there so we can see them. You know, do that too, High Alpacas. All right. Let's drop back to 100% our auto mode here just to get down here, and then let's see what happens when I'm at a gain of only 100 right now. We're usually at around 300, but I'm going to maximize and see. Oh, that's not bad. That's good. We're getting there. Go in a little bit just to see how many stars might be there. Okay, High Alpaca's good. Yeah, I'd like to see your photos. If they're good, I'll show them on the next stream. I'm sure they're good. Yeah. Yeah. So once again, welcome to SkyTour Livestream. We are broadcasting for the first time with our high-speed satellite Starlink connection, and from the middle of the Sonoran Desert in Arizona. I'm in Connecticut, and the telescope is out in Arizona. You can see it in the building right over my head there. There it is. And this telescope is by far one of the nicest systems that we could put out there at the moment. But if we get more people involved and some more funding, we are going to put a real kick-butt system out there if we can. You notice this bright and then this dark. We have a special template that's overlaying the images called the flat field compensation template. And what happens with these sensors is they get bright in the center when you take long exposures. And what this does is this gets subtracted from the image, which levels the image, so it's the same brightness throughout. Izabela, what time is it there? She's like at 3 or 4 in the morning.
I believe it's quarter after 6 that there.
She 8 hours? How many hours is she from here?
9 hours from me.
Okay. I don't know why I thought it was only 6 hours, but that would make sense. Okay, let's see what our stars look like now. If I try to do the system now, go to the focus assistant and go to this. Wow, this is so fast. Multi-star thing. I don't think we have enough stars. We have a few, but not enough. But you know what I can do? I can tell it to try and do it. I'll tell it to scan in. And Daryl, I'll raise your volume again a couple levels if you can.
Okay.
All right, or talk closer, but I don't know why things vary. To be fair, I have no idea why they vary.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
Okay. Hopefully it's not. Folks, if I sound too loud, let me know. I'll back down a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're actually pretty good. Our levels are now nice and equal.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, okay. So Izabela messing me up with her time schedule there. Okay. Really cool. All right. Well, it says it completed it, but it looks like it has a curve, so I'm going to try it and see if we can get there. We're going to go to our focus curve here. That center seems to be the best focus for what it seemed to have found. Okay. And to prove it, we're going to go zoom in on this and see what it shows me. All right, that'll be where Spica is. So let's go into 100%. Oh yeah, looks like we might be okay. Let me increase the gain a little bit. I'll increase the gain and see what we get. Okay, there we go. Well, I think it was moderately successful. So what we'll do is we will knock this off and throw in temperature compensation. Right now it's 29.94 degrees Celsius out in the building. So I got temperature compensation in place so that as the temperature drops, which will show up here, well, just increased, the focus adjusts based on what's called a coefficient that I had previously determined and installed. So that's cool.
May I say something?
Yes.
While we're waiting for the dark to get here.
Yeah.
Since we didn't have a show tonight, folks, if you were following the expected, hoped for Tau Herculid meteor shower, post after action reports, it was an okay shower. It wasn't great. It was not a meteor storm. There have been some pretty interesting images out there. Some people saw a fair number of meteors, some saw a few, some didn't see any. I saw one from here at home. They tended to be on the middle and the faint side, magnitude 2 to magnitude 4. Some were leaving smoke trails though, and made interesting images. If you look at APOD, Astrophoto of the Day, or over at spaceweather.com, you may have to scroll down a bit. Their content changes pretty quickly. There were some good images out there. So it was an okay shower. It wasn't anything major.
Hey, I mean, we actually were running our camera out there, our All Sky camera, and during the shower, of course, the camera had a mechanical problem. We fixed it, I think, but you never know. Hi, Alpacas. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Hi there, Taryn Marie. Nice to see you. And Mandy S says, it wasn't bad here. Managed to see 10 from my backyard and in the Bright City. Backyard in the Bright City. That's actually a pretty good expectation, right? To see 10. That's pretty good. I like it. Considering that it might have been pretty hard to see them. You know? Nice, though. Nice. Alright, so let's see here.
Yeah, the one I saw was, I just walked out my front door and looked up, and
yeah,
just casual look for a few minutes was all, and I saw the one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. And seeing one is better than seeing none, right? I'm trying to figure out why this isn't. I've got a little thing I'm trying to do here.
Excuse me.
That's all right. Okay, maybe this. Okay, well, we'll see. All right, anyway, as you can see, we're waiting for it to get a little bit dark. When I went to New York State to do this talk, I actually did a talk about how potential unidentified flying objects, you know, as they say UAP now, unidentified aerial phenomena, how these craft might actually operate. And really, really amazing. Because what happens is, if you think about the world of the universe, the world of physics as we know it, it's not something that is immediately obvious to people that there's a structure to the universe that includes something we call the space-time continuum, the fabric of space. I mean, that's something that's pretty, I guess it's pretty dense. And so, but to understand it better, consider that when we look at a black hole, we notice that the stars around the black hole that might be behind, far away from the black hole in the background, their images are warped in space. And when there's a solar eclipse, they notice that the stars that were seen during a solar eclipse near the sun, where the sun's disk was now covered by the moon, blotted out so you can see stars, that those stars were in different positions. They were warped and moved slightly and shifted in their position because of the sun's gravity. So that's where we learned that gravity can warp something called space. And they thought, well, maybe the light has mass, and maybe the light is being pulled around the sun by the gravity. And it turns out that photons of light are massless. They have no mass. So, oh man, what's that do to our theory then? Well, it means that now we had to focus on something different. We had to focus on the possibility that it wasn't the photons getting pulled around, but it was space warping. And as it turns out, that's exactly what happens. Space warps. And that warping, that bending of space, causes light to follow that curvature of space. Like, as I've always said, like a car on a hill follows the hill. All right? And this is kind of cool, right? Well, as the car follows the hill in the same way, so too does light follow the curvature of space. So that's why photons can be warped, and that's why black holes are black, because at a certain point, light gets beyond a certain point in this black hole, and now it goes on a perpetually circular path and never gets out. It's not that light is being sucked in by a black hole. Light is just following the curve of space, which itself is really tightly and deeply curved, and thus it can no longer escape the black hole. OG Skywatch. Von Neumann probes. Yeah. The von Neumann probe theory is an interesting one. You know, it relates to some things with extraterrestrial life. But my particular talk was really based on something else. It was based on looking at a little bit of string theory, and I actually was able to successfully explain to an audience at this place how string theory kind of works. So if you think of it as, I'll tell you. So here you have everything in the universe is vibrating. It's going, you know, it's vibrating, right? So if you have one endpoint where this particle is and another endpoint where this particle is, and it's vibrating between those two endpoints, consider the thing in between it the string. Okay? Infinitesimally small, but it's a string. And in our universe, the vibration has endpoints. There's endpoints. There's endpoints at each end, right? The limit of the vibration, say. Okay? However, the one thing that doesn't work that way is gravity. Gravity doesn't have endpoints. It's sort of like circular. So that implies that it originates from somewhere and terminates somewhere else, or in itself. And that's something we have yet to be able to catch and see. That said, what's interesting about the possibility of string theory is that on our universe, X, Y, and Z moving through time, and Daryl's heard me say this before, we call that a membrane. All right, it is our membrane. It is it's a brain world, as it's called, a brain world. All right, let's get you focused again. What's going on here? Okay, a brain world is actually a membrane. Okay, and so aside from the weird word terminology, just consider that a brain world is the X, Y, and Z moving through time. It's our 4D universe, right? X, Y, and Z with time. Now, just outside of our X, Y, and Z with time, and in string theory, in this particular string theory, there's something called the bulk, B-U-L-K. And it's highly warped. What is it? It's another dimension. And then next to that is another membrane farther out called the Planck membrane. Now, at the Planck membrane, space is so highly warped that gravity is 10 to the 16th power times as strong as it is here. Okay? 10 with 16 zeros after it, right? So that said, when it moves, when that 10 to the 16th power gravity, as it gets down toward our membrane, it goes to being, where it reaches our membrane, the power of gravity here in our brain, all right? So, if you're a spacecraft, you can generate certain particles, and these particles are very impressive because they actually create little micro black holes. These particles are things that the Large Hadron Collider should be able to duplicate. And if it does, then we can prove this theory. So if you can develop these particles, they're called Kaluza-Klein gravitons, or KK gravitons, they come from the bulk area. That's where they live. So if you can generate them here around your spaceship and generate these micro black holes around it at the same time, the Kaluza-Klein gravitons will migrate into the bulk, depending on how many you have and how dense you make them sheeting your ship. And in the bulk, distances are shortened, time is slowed down. When that happens, you can go almost anywhere in the universe you want, because the distances are so shortened that you have this punch-out point from our universe, and then you'll have all these punch-in places like Alpha Centauri, center of the galaxy. Okay, say another, or the Magellanic Clouds, and it'll take a certain amount of time to traverse them. However, if you can generate these particles and you put them, you have them going in your UFO ship, well, the UFO has to be a particle accelerator. And that's why they're round. That's why they're triangular, because then they actually have these rings inside. And we think that they're particle accelerators. And you generate these particles, get sucked into the bulk, and go somewhere else right away. There's no problem with inertia, which the resistance to motion is inertia. And that's not something that we have to worry about because of the way this all works. So that was what the talk was about. And that's the short version. You know, and Daryl's sitting there going, geez, there we go. And he'll say brevity is the soul of wit or whatever. But that you can't be brief with something like that. And that was what the talk was about.
I didn't say anything. I wasn't even thinking anything.
Well, you did. You know, you've said that before, but that's okay. You know, I was trying to compliment you on the fact that you'll say those things sometimes when it has to be true, when it has to happen. So that's okay.
Izabela knows which side her bread is buttered on.
She's funny. She's just saying it because I complimented her before. That's all. That's it. We're getting dark out there, though. Look, see our frame is starting to even out now. Let me see if I can do this. Get a little higher. Let's increase our gain now. Bring our gain up a little more. Yeah, we're getting there. We do have a little bit. Oh, thanks, OG. We do have a little bit of the moon out right now, I believe. And hi there, Desert Dweller. How you doing? This is Spica right now. We're waiting for it to get dark in the building. I know that it kind of looks like it's dark, but if we go to our telescope controlling planetarium system and we zoom out, all right, and we look toward the west here, which is where the sun has set, then you can see as we get there. Hold on, let me get us there. I was really zoomed in. You can see that we have a little bit of a moon out right now. Now let's find out where the moon is right now. The moon is going to be a crescent right there. We can actually go see it. It's going to be really pretty. Let's see how high it is. 35 degrees. You know what? Let's see if we can get to the moon, okay? Why not? Give it a shot. The telescope's going to be way leaned over to the west. But let's try it. We focused, we should be good. So let's just tell the telescope to go over there. And when I tell it to, I just gave it the command. Now you'll see streaks here, in this here, as we now go there. And the telescope leaning way over, as you can see, and it's going to go to what I call a waypoint star. It's going to find a waypoint and then head back toward the moon, unless we're at the moon now. And
sure is bright. Must be the moon.
Yeah, let me drop this
Actually,
out.
I think I can see it. There you go.
There it is. That's beautiful.
Yep, that's what I said earlier. I think about a 5-day moon.
Yeah.
Can still see Earth shine on the dark side.
There it is, right there. You're right. So let's bring the moon up more into the field of view here. There we go. And let's move a little bit toward the west. All right. Notice how smooth it is. This is just so different. Hello, Judy McClelland. How are you? Good to see you. James Dugan here from Australia, along with Greggy Gilgan, who's here from Australia. All right. We're going to increase our brightness for the moment just so you can see this Earth shine on the far side, not the far side, but the unlit side of the moon. Okay. You can see right there, you can see the Maria. You can actually see the modeling of the Maria now. You can even see Aristarchus crater, which is the brightest spot on the moon right there. You can see that. It's just right there. A little higher gain might show that. Let's go to 300. Yeah, there it is. See that? And now if we drop the gain down to nothing, okay, and we reduce the exposure from 100 milliseconds down to, say, 35 milliseconds, even less, I guess, that might be better. So we'll go down to, say, 15 milliseconds. There we go. Now we can zoom in and check out the moon. Let's go to 100. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Not bad. And this is sort of an indication. And it is beautiful. There's no doubt about it. But it's definitely low in the sky.
There's my friends Cyrillus, Theophilus, and Katerina there. A little right there. Yeah, it looks like a dumbbell with a second weight on one end.
Yeah, that's this guy right here.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about those last time because Daryl wanted to talk about them, and it was great. Let's go to 200%. So this is now obviously our telescope is tuned for looking at nebulae and tuned for looking at deep sky objects. The moon is not considered a deep sky object, and in the same way that the moon would be a lousy target for the Hubble Space Telescope, it's a lousy target for us too. But we can still do it, and we still do. Let's go to 7 milliseconds at this point, and let's see how it looks. 7 milliseconds, so imagine that, and our gain is at 0. That's how sensitive our camera is. Let's go to 1 millisecond and see how dark it is. Yeah, that's still pretty bright considering. And this is 2 milliseconds. 4 milliseconds. And that's about the right exposure for us right now. Yep. Oh yeah. Really cool. For those just joining us, hello Vera Lucia Campos from Brazil. We've missed you. And you'll notice how fast everything's moving. In case you missed it, we do have our Starlink hooked up now, and it is just wonderful. Ta-da! Starlink is up. So welcome and enjoy our much faster observatory. Nice. Okay. So now that we've checked out the moon, we could just stare at the moon. This is a live shot. It's not a still shot. It's an 8 millisecond shot. Every 8 milliseconds, a new image is coming up. So that's actually pretty good. That's why when we move it, if we go to the east, you'll see it move across the field. OG says, saw a video where they said the moon is a must-have as it stabilizes the Earth rotation, so life might require one. Actually, I think that's sort of true. Okay, let me explain a little bit more about the moon. And Daryl, you can jump in here if you want to. But when you say that the moon is a must-have, keep in mind that when the moon was born on the Earth, born of the Earth, say, in that theory, the daytime of the amount of daylight on the Earth was around 4 hours. So it was a 4-hour day and a 4-hour night. The Earth was spinning pretty rapidly. But as the moon formed, first it was this molten, probably a ring of molten material that cooled around the Earth, and then many, many impacts later, we have a moon as it congealed into a spherical body. Okay? Well, now, as the moon is orbiting the Earth developed oceans. And those oceans were subject to the moon's gravity. They would be pulled by the moon, and we'd make a tidal bulge on the Earth, and the sun would do the same thing. So what that does to the Earth is that tidal bulge is tugged on by the moon, and as the Earth rotates, that tidal bulge is actually resisting the rotation of the Earth just enough to start slowing down the Earth rotation thanks to the moon. So that means that over billions of years, we went from a 4-hour day to a 23-hour, 56-minute day, where it currently sits. And it's getting longer all the time. Now, eventually, what happens is, because of that process, the moon is trading off some momentum with the Earth. And what happens is, we're losing momentum, the moon's gaining momentum. And momentum is just basically a property which kind of tells you how big your orbit might be around the planet. And as you get more momentum, your orbit's going to get bigger and bigger. So the moon's orbit is actually increasing by about 3 centimeters per year. So you might think, well, hey, will there be a time when the moon will be no longer around the Earth? And the answer is yes, but the sun will die before that time. Hey there, Private. What's up? That is true. It was a beautiful view. And Tim F is with us too. Hi, Tim. Daryl said hi to you as well. I think it's pretty dark. And because we have some nice special filters on our system, we can actually go and probably take the time to go and look at some things that we like galaxies and things. That shouldn't be a problem.
Can we take another peek at the supernova?
Yeah, let's do that.
And you see 4647, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right. And it should be in my go-to list here. Which is now moving really fast. NGC went so fast to there. That's not it. 4647, there it is. For those that may not remember, we saw a supernova in this galaxy, and we've been following it. So we have two streams. In the first stream, it was very, very bright and blue. In the second stream, it was more of a cooler temperature. It was more of an orange. So let's find out what it is now. I've instructed the telescope to go there, and there we go. I will zoom back out. I'm glad you thought of that, Daryl. I was gonna go somewhere else, but that's a good get. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All
That
right,
might
now
make a
we're
good first
What?
deep sky stop.
Yeah, I think so. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to 1 second here. A 1 second exposure, and the gain is at okay. This is Vindimatrix, this star here. That's our waypoint star, and we're going to then go to the galaxy, and I'm going to set the gain to 300. And there's the galaxy right there. And that's not the galaxy that the supernova's in. The galaxy the supernova is in is right here, but we can't really see it yet. We have to take a time exposure, which we'll do. And I know that Michael Clegg has said that you could just use these generic things and these generic timings here to do this instead of typing it in. And the only reason I typed it in is because it was so slow. But now that it's faster, I think we can do it. So we're just going to do a 30-second shot with our moon and try this out. And right there on the right side here, right there, you can see the progress bar as it moves along here. There's a couple little things too that I want to try here. I want to just make sure I get something. Let's see where I am. Let's say I'm here. I'm going to do this. Move this just a little bit, if it'll work. There we go. Wow. That's different already, Daryl. Different already.
How so?
I don't see it right away.
Yep, me neither.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to zoom in on this. This greenish color is just because I haven't started stacking yet. Oh, it's still there, but it's fainting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, folks, let's back out here. We're going to live stack this, okay? So what it means is we're going to take an image, and then we're going to take a second image and align it with the first, and then take a third and align it with those previous two, and just make a stack of sandwiches of images, which is going to make the faint detail come out and the noise of the background go away. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to balance the color. So that's going to give us a more balanced color view here, which did not do it because I have to get rid of this first. All right, so let's balance the color again, and then we will do a process right here, which will give us this. Okay, it's noisy because of the fact that it's only one stacked image right now. All right, so you see this color noise? Watch, ready? Watch the magic. Here it comes. Second image. Boom. See that? Much of that noise gets subdued. All right, there's the supernova right there. That's the one. And this is beautiful.
It looks much like it did last time we looked.
Yeah, if you can see it, it's right there. That little guy.
Yeah.
That little orange guy right there is the supernova.
Say it's comparable in brightness to the rest of the galaxy, which is not unusual for supernovas.
No. I'm gonna
Maybe a little
balance the
dimmer.
color. I think it's dimmer. It's dimmer. These streaks here are artifacts on the system that I'm getting rid of when I go out there next month. to do our maintenance. And let's back out just a little bit. Let's go to 66%. Okay, that's cool. And let me let's back out some more, just so you can see. As we back out, this you'll see the image will square out, and you get the borders. This is the full frame. It's actually 4 full moons across and 3 full moons tall. Just so you know, and that's pretty. It's a very dynamic sized image.
Oh, can you put up the stellarium view for a second?
Yes, I can.
And you see all those little orange ovals,
Yeah,
folks.
These
We're
guys.
we're right in the Virgo cluster that we've looked at a lot recently.
Yeah.
And all those little red ellipses are galaxies.
And blue ones.
And blue ones.
Yeah, this red square represents the size of our camera field. All right. And what we're going to do after this is we're going to just come over here to the Siamese twins and M58. Okay, we're going to check that out. So let's first let our galaxy here, or supernova I should say, stack a few more images. Alright, so let's zoom in. Whoa, look at that. I got a spider looking at me right there.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a spider on the camera. Look at that, guys. It actually, it might not be a spider. That actually might be a winged insect that's attracted to the infrared. It seems to be originating.
Antennae?
Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's a grasshopper. Look at that. There's a leg.
Yeah.
Monster, and he's gone. We see some cool stuff. All right, let's fix the color and get a little bit more balanced here. There we go. All right, we've got 8 stacked images so far. So we're good. All right, so now, yeah, this is definitely dimmer, Daryl. This is definitely dimmer. This is not the same brightness as it was. It's still bright, but it looks like it's dimmer by a long shot. The relative size of this blob is smaller. So that's expected, folks. After a major supernova where the star obliterates itself, it's going to pump out lots and lots of gamma rays and high energy initially, and then they'll start to fade over a few weeks to months. And so we're watching it do that. And a satellite just went through. That's probably a Starlink satellite. Hey, Pocono Joe, how's it going? Hi, Daniel H, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, beginning of the end. Giant grasshoppers. Yeah, that's true. Alice, how are you? Yeah, so we do have a moon out, guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I was just saying that we do have a moon out, so our images need to stack longer to actually get a good quality image. These diagonal streaks show up more when the moon is out, and they're an artifact in the optical train, which I'll be eliminating in just a few weeks. But see, now we've stacked 12, and you can start to see the spiral structure of this galaxy right now. This galaxy, I think, is an elliptical galaxy, meaning it doesn't have any spiral arms, so they just look kind of like blobs.
That's Messier 60, if I remember correctly.
It is, that's right. Let's jump in deeper. Oh, sorry. I've been driving all day. Okay, let's zoom in here. Okay, so there's our spiral galaxy. I'm gonna come in here and make some adjustments. First adjustment I'm going to make is I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to do this first. I'm going to try this. Yeah, that's what I thought I was going to do. Okay. I'm going to drag this down a little bit. I'm going to soften that noise. There we go.
Well, that looks pretty bright still.
Yeah. Hey there, Island Warrior. How are you? Island Warrior says the prominence of that supernova is amazing. I wonder how many light years from the galactic center it is from this galaxy. It's actually something we could sort of figure out. If we assume this galaxy is face on to us, right? Like this, then we can measure the nucleus and that position, and knowing its distance, we can actually calculate that size. Actually, I have a program that can do that, that I wrote to do just that. And so, depending on how big that galaxy actually is, we'd be able to do it. And just so we get an idea, let's go to our galaxy anyway, back here again. This is 4647. Okay, there it is. We'll center it. The distance of that galaxy, it says here, is 79 million light years. Let's say 80, because it's 79.9. So 80 million light years. At 80 million light years, okay, we know that the size of this galaxy in the sky, right, is this size right here. It gives us that size. It's 2 minutes, 34.9 seconds of arc. That's how we measure sizes in the sky. And from that, we can calculate how far away this is from that and do that calculation. But I would have to actually go into the program to do it. But knowing the size of the galaxy is important too. If we can look up NGC 4647, we get a size in the galaxy in actual light years, then we'll know directly how far this is.
Give me just a second.
He took the hint. Nice, thanks, Daryl. Alright, we'll come back here. We've stacked 19. We're going to just stack one more. And then we're going to stop at 20.
Wiki says it's 63 million light years away. Estimate, yeah. Just estimated. And its estimated size is about 90,000 light years in diameter.
Okay. So if it's 90,000 light years in diameter, okay, then half of that was going to be 45,000 light years. And right now it looks like it's about 20,000, 25,000 light years from the center.
Yep.
So that'll be about the same distance as the Earth, Moon, Sun system and all the retinue of planets we have is from our galactic center.
Yep, I was going to say.
Yeah, okay, sorry. That's neat.
Oh, no, that's fine.
That's kind of a cool little thing. So, you see how you can actually figure things out in astronomy as long as you know a few little facts. So let's do this. Yeah, we're a little bit... Let me just try to see what the color correction does. There we go. That's a good color correction. There we go. Look at that.
Makes it nice and... see how reddish it is.
Yeah. Yep. We can see the spiral arms in this galaxy. None in this galaxy, of course. That appeared some weeks ago. And it was extremely blue when we looked at it. And we have these. So you can go look for them. And we're going to make sure that you know them again. Because we're going to say this is NGC 4647. I'm filling that out up here. All right. And I'm going to put GAL for galaxy, and then space SN for supernova. And that will be in the actual what I'm trying to say here. That will be in the title of the directory where this is going to be.
Yeah. Remember I looked this up. Was it last time we were here on
Yep.
your server? And I want to say it was in April when
Yep.
we first looked at it.
Okay.
I think the supernova first showed up in like March.
Okay. But that's what it is. That's it's NGC 4647 Galaxy with supernova, and the designation for supernova is SN. So when you actually see SN in the literature, when you're reading an article, it means supernova. And we're at 259% on our sensor right now. So we're actually pretty highly magnified in here. And if I just drag this down a little more, and then come up to our system here and just go up to fill the frame, this is how big it is on our actual sensor frame. Okay, so it's actually pretty small. But we can zoom in. As we zoom in, oh, what a joy this is to zoom now. Okay, so now we just come in a little bit more. This is 100% right there. This is the size of our sensor. No worries, Island Warrior. You know, just takes an astronomer with some knowledge, right? And we can figure out some questions for you. So between Daryl and I, we'll figure it all out. Hey, how's doing Hawaii? Aloha. We're just a couple of hollies out here. Although, see, I'd be a howley in Hawaii, but I'm actually here in the United States on the continent. I'm actually part indigenous, so my mother was Native American and Irish. So here, I guess non-Native Americans would be the continental howlies of sorts, because a howley is the somewhat derogatory term for a non-indigenous Hawaiian. So that's okay, though. I mean, I'm okay being a howley. But welcome from Hawaii. Welcome from us to Hawaii. I'm like that having you here from Hawaii. And Jessica S is here. Hello, good to see you. Nice to see you, folks. Thank you for coming out. Let me see now. Yeah, we have 60 of you watching right now, and this is beautiful. We're looking at this supernova. I'll change the title of the stream to include the supernova in it, I think, or it'll be in the table of contents thanks to Izabela when she makes it. And Doing Hawaii says, I'm descended from Cherokee, not Native Hawaiian. Okay, interesting, very interesting. Yep. And Ryan DeBoer is here. Oh yes, Ryan, thank you for pointing it out. Ryan asked, what are the small blue dots? These small blue dots you see right here, okay, right there, okay, and up here, and the green dots too, Ryan, and there's actually some red dots as well that you'll see, but not right in this particular. Oh yeah, no, not yet. What happens is the camera has sensor pixels that are red, green, and blue, and you get this triplet of red, green, and blue dots, right? Sometimes, and it's a per picture thing. It's not in the same place every time, and we can scrub the sensor of them. Sometimes one of the sensors pixels doesn't react properly, and we'll get a blue trail left by the telescope being guided by as the telescope guides. Maybe the green and the red are guiding fine, but the blue one does not get tracked right, and so because it's just not being tracked, it'll make a line. What this shows you is the direction the tracking is actually going. You could use it, but the fact that it's almost a dot shows that our guiding is really good tonight. So that means we don't have a whole lot of wind out there. Haha. You know, if we had wind, that big giant tube would be moving around, and we've seen that too, right, Daryl?
Oh yeah.
Yes, we have. Yep. Bonnie says, I don't know how to say. He says, Mark, you a hoppa howley. Okay, yeah. And she spelled it right too. Look at that. It's a howley. Thank you, Vera. Yes, please subscribe if you haven't. Everything we do is free. And we have a database, actually, of all the previous streams, or many of them, actually, from, I think, a year ago. I think we're going in year windows, and then we archive. And you can see everything we're doing, all right? And here's how we do it. Okay, we have 34 stacks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pause this, okay? And we're going to save it. And when we say save, watch what happens. Across the top, you see a green bar. It's saving the actual astronomical file format called FITS. All right, but don't worry, you can download free viewers for the FITS files if you want, or you can just take our image that I'll save next after I get the color fixed, and let's try to process it a little. Look at all the satellites that have gone through. All right, that green is due to the moon that's out right now, but that'll change. As you can see, the filters manage it pretty well. So here we go. This is a good shot. So what we're going to do now is save this exactly as seen. And that makes another file, a PNG file, a PNG file. And that one you can just double click on and see the image. So there you go. Right? Pull that out. So this is NGC 4647. What's the NGC mean? It means New General Catalog. It's a catalog of almost 8,000 objects in space. There are hundreds of thousands of objects in space, and they are cataloged in a variety of catalogs, which is sort of like a redundant thing to say. But let's check them out. Let me show you. If we go to this particular menu called DSO for Deep Sky Object, these are many of the catalogs. And we're going to get the Caldwell catalog active. We'll get the Barnard catalog active. We'll get the Sharpless catalog active. If you leave your cursor here, you can see it's a catalog of H2 regions, which are the glowing star formation regions. And then we'll have Lund's Bright Nebula catalog right here, Lund's Dark Nebula catalog, and then Melamed, which is actually I think it's a galaxy cluster catalog. Let's find out. Star clusters, I'm sorry, yeah. And then the galaxy, ARP, the ARP. This is the catalog of galaxy clusters. All right, I'm wrong. Peculiar galaxies. Where's the galaxy cluster? Oh, is it Abel? Let's look. Thank you. Finally, rich clusters of galaxies. Now, these being checked off mean that they will show up now in our system when we go to look. So we're gonna go do that. Let's do this. All right. So now as we zoom out, we'll see more objects. Okay.
You mentioned a while ago looking at, was it M58?
Yeah, we're going to go there right now, now that I've saved this.
Cool.
We're going to actually go to the Siamese twins first. All right. And then we're going to, we'll have M58 in the view right above it. So here we go.
Very good. Will you excuse me a moment, please?
Sure.
Be right back.
Okay. All right, so what I do in order to go to the next object, the next thing we have to do is simply come back here and take our time and go to 1 second. So we're just going to go to a 1 second exposure. All right, and our gain stays the same. And this gives us now a 1 second exposure. Go back to our auto view where we actually see the full frame. All right, and this is the frame we're looking at. I'm going to remove the stack, and then it will go into doing just the 1 second exposures. Here we go. And then I take this over here and I move it up to the top to really maximize what we're seeing. And now you can see the noise change in the background, but you see the stars and the galaxies staying in the same place. Even here with a 1 second exposure, we could zoom in, right, and actually see that we have, no, let's just do it this way. I can zoom in and you'll see that we have a supernova, even visible on a 1 second exposure. There it is, right there. And we get rid of the noise by doing the stacking. All right, Izabela, thank you for putting that up there. Okay, so now we go back to our system here, and we center up the Siamese Twins galaxy. And you'll see that Messier 58 that Daryl was talking about earlier is right there. So we're just going to say now go. And as you'll see, the stars will streak in just a minute. There they go. And the telescope is heading to one of its waypoint stars. And we'll watch it do that. Back out and see which waypoint star it's using. Okay, it's using Vindia Meatrix again. It centers it up, and it's going to head over to that set of galaxies. You're going to see Messier 58 at the top, and you're going to see the Siamese Twins galaxy right around here. All right, it's actually going to put them right there. So where I'm going to leave my cursor there, and let's see how close it is. There is Messier 58 at the top, and there are the Siamese Twins galaxies right below the cursor. How about that, huh? All right.
He's back.
Hey, Daryl. Siamese Twins are back too. Here we go. Look at that. These are getting really pretty. So let's try a 45-second exposure and get rid of our hybrid finder view here, which helps us catch our views. And we're going to do this live stack again, where we stack images to get better and better and better images. This is the buffer from before. You can see there's many galaxies in this image. Okay, and we haven't even counted them all. But we're going to clear this image. All right, so that our sensor is now clear, and now we'll see the first image of our beautiful Siamese Twins. We have down here, it says 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. What do we got? Yeah, there they are. Don't worry about the color. We can fix that very quickly. Just do a quick correction, and we'll use this one stacked image to do this. There is Messier 58, Daryl, right at the top.
Uh-huh.
You'll notice it looks like a barred spiral, doesn't it? I think it is a barred spiral.
It does.
Yeah.
Why don't
Go
I
ahead,
find out?
tell folks what the barred spiral is, and I'm going to look at the Siamese Twins for a minute.
Oh, you wanted me to talk about barred spirals?
Yeah, just define it for them while they look at the Siamese Twins.
Okay, I was looking up
Wait.
M58.
Okay. Well, what Daryl would tell you is that the barred spiral is a galaxy that has a nucleus that isn't round like we see in many galaxies, but it's sort of extended. And we call that a bar. And that bar, of course, is interesting because it's off of that bar from which the galaxy spiral arms form. And that leads to some pretty interesting shapes. There's some galaxies that have these bars that look like steering wheels.
Yeah.
Because they're so symmetric, you know?
Yeah, this is M58.
Let me pull it in again here. There you go.
intermediate barred spiral galaxy with a weak inner ring structure.
That's this structure right here.
It's one that Messier actually discovered.
Okay. Let me make this a little better.
Pretty galaxy.
It is. Let's make it prettier right now. There we go. Softening up some of the noise there a little bit. That's cool. That's really pretty, huh? Oh, Doing Hawaii says, it's amazing how technology has made stargazing so much easier than when I was a kid. You are so right. You are so right. I built my own cameras as a kid out of cardboard. They actually worked, but they weren't easy to work on. But man, that cardboard camera I was so proud of as a kid. And now our camera is an electronic camera that captures images in seconds that would have taken hours in the past. And here you see the green dots. Okay, that's that guiding system doing its thing. You can see that the guiding path the camera's going is this way. It's making a curve. So the telescope's actually kind of moving in such a way that it keeps everything dead center, but the pixels that aren't working in a particular photo, those get dragged out. I kind of think those are interesting because it shows me how we're guiding. But another way we can do that actually is to look at what's called a drift graph, which is right here. And this is the drift graph. Let's see. Maybe this. Yeah, this right through the center here. You see that it's drifting less than. I think those are pixels. Is drifting less than 2 pixels in this as it's moving around, and that's actually pretty good. The guiding isn't bad. It's in other words, it's keeping things aligned properly. Not bad. Look at that, Daryl.
Yeah. I learned something. There are only 4 barred spirals in the Messier catalog.
Oh, I actually did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Correctly.
Well, there's plenty in the NGC catalog.
M58 is one of the brightest galaxies in the Virgo cluster.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to enhance this. So you see how these kind of look like they're not that clear? Right, so watch what happens now when I turn on this particular process called unsharp masking. That's for another stream to just talk to you about how it happens, but watch now. Galaxy core gets very bright from unsharp masking, but you see that the arms are more well defined. But we can change that. We can make it a little better. If we go to the histogram section, drag this down now. Look at that. Now the arms, you can see some of the real complexity in those arms. That's nice. Wow. That's neat.
Pretty
Let's go
galaxy.
see the Siamese. Let's go see the Siamese twins now. There's another galaxy on the way. And here's a pair of galaxies. Look at these guys, the Siamese Twins galaxy. This one's markedly redder than this one. And because they're in the same frame, we know that this one probably is redder, probably has a lot going on in there, including a lot of potential star formation. Yeah, see, the core is pretty yellowy red on the outside here. That's pretty neat.
Oh.
Island Warrior says he notices that the Siamese twins have a lot of blue hot stars. You can clearly see this is blue here. These areas here, this galaxy must also have a lot of H2 regions. I'd have to see. H2 regions are the stellar nurseries, by the way, where stars are born. Clouds of ionized hydrogen that glow red. Neat.
What is the designation for these galaxies?
Yeah, let's get that. Siamese twins are NGC 4567. NGC or UGC. Well, you don't care about UGC. Yeah, butterfly galaxies, fish and chips galaxies. You know, somebody in Great Britain named that one. So, yeah, but there we are.
4567, 4568.
Yeah. Now, as far as distance, okay, 4567 is literally 111 million light years away. Really, that's a little bit less than. Well, that's what it says here.
Yeah. Wiki says 60, about 60, whatever that's worth.
Yeah, Wiki, Stellarium, this product, and Wiki are usually both wrong. So we would actually have to look this up officially in like the SEDS database or in NED or to try and get an idea what the real distance is. But you know.
Yeah. Well, if this was, I would tend to lean toward the 60 million number approximately because like when we looked at M87, which isn't far away from here, I believe, it's 50 million some odd light years away, and most of the Virgo cluster galaxies are about 60 million light years away.
Yeah.
And this is in the Virgo cluster.
Yeah,
if it was a greater number, I think they'd be much smaller.
Well, they're actually pretty small, but yeah, you're right. I would guess that's true. Wow.
But the dark spiral, dark lanes in 4567. And some dark chunks floating around too.
You talking about right here?
Yeah, the yellower of the two.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of detail in there. Well, we've stacked 14. I mean, if we were to wait to let it stack up to like 25 or something, then we would probably see a little bit more of that. This is 45, 67?
67 and 68.
Yeah, okay.
And one is notably yellow, more yellow than the other.
Yeah. All right. Okay. How beautiful. Okay, we did 15. We'll go to 16 and then pause and move on. Okay, let's see now. 16. So we'll pause. I named it up there, Siamese Twins Galaxy. And I'm going to save it. And it's going to save our FITS file, as usual. and it's literally on its way up to the cloud. It's probably going to be there in just a few minutes. Actually, even faster now than it used to, because we were using a very slow internet before. Okay, that's beautiful. So there is our ping file, and now our stack is done. So we can get rid of the stack and go back to 1 second, which I will just do a quick pick for 1 second, because now I can, because it's much quicker. And we'll increase to give our hybrid finder view. Boom. And then back out to the original size.
Izabela says 2 minutes, Marc. 2 minutes.
Takes 2 minutes to upload, I guess. Okay, this is beautiful. All right, so let's go to our... Let's see where the... You know, I wonder where the antennae are right now.
Oh, yeah. You read my mind.
The Corvus.
Yeah, they're just
here.
off the lip of Crater the Cup.
Right, so that's down here. Right there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're between Corvus and Crater.
Right here.
Yep.
We're gonna try this, see if we can see.
The Siamese twin galaxies are very reminiscent of the antennae.
Yeah, you know it.
There they are right
like
there.
that. Yeah, I see them. Okay. We're going to go to these two galaxies, guys, because these are really cool looking. All right, and off we go. Now, before we do that, I'm just going to tweak my system, because I want to give it a moment to allow us to see what's going on. And then I'm going to back up here, go into status for our auto guiding system. We have an auto guiding system which does the guiding for us, and then we're going to tell it come back in here and go, and it takes about 12 seconds for the system to lock on to a guide star. But when it does, we'll start to see numbers changing down here, right up there above my head, and then we'll be able to check it out. All right, let's see which star we're going to. Any guesses?
Vendemiatrix, Denebola,
Minkar. Minkar. It's going to center up Minkar, and then the Antennae Galaxies are going to be right there. And there goes a satellite. I am so spoiled by this now. This system is just outrageously fast. Izabela put up the galaxies. Thank you, Izabela. Siamese twin galaxies are there. There's the antennae right there. And Doing Hawaii says, Marc, what is your favorite celestial object? Wow. Hey, man, that's a good question. And I will tell you, my favorite astronomical object has to be, it's two objects, I'm sorry. All right? In the wintertime, depending on the season, I should really have four. In the wintertime, the favorite object is the Horsehead Flame Nebula region of Orion. And of course, Messier 42, the Great Nebula.
Yep.
But there's a lot of dark nebulae that I really, really adore. And because we're in an extremely dark area, we can catch these things and see them. We're taking photos of faint galaxies while the moon is out right now. That's because our sky is so clear, and we're using a special filter system to help knock out the moon. But even so, we get a slight color tint, but that's fine. So in the spring, my favorite object is the Pinwheel Galaxy, Messier 101. And it's tied with the Whirlpool Galaxy, Messier 51. They look similar, but not really. Formed two different ways, but that's okay. And then in the summertime, my favorite object is the. This is a tough one because I like the Eagle Nebula and I like the Lagoon Nebula. Eagle Nebula's measure 16 in Serpens Caput, right? And measure 8 in Sagittarius. The Lagoon Nebula is a stellar nursery that is illuminated by a amazing hot O-type star, among the hottest stars in the universe. There goes a satellite right there. Check it out. There he is right here. See him?
There goes another one.
And there's another, and that's a Starlink going diagonal there. That's not. Starlink makes big things. Okay, let's get this done. So we're going to now go and do a 40-second exposure here. And we're going to come out of our finder mode. You can see our progress bar is starting to move over there. Where's the progress bar? Right here. Right there. Right. Now we're going to go into our live stack. Clear the previous stack. There they are. Okay. That was a beautiful shot. Again, measure 68, right? And the Siamese twin galaxies. So let's clear this now.
68. 58.
58, okay, yeah. I know, it didn't sound right. Why did I do that? Alright, let's see what the antenna do. Wow. This is an interacting pair of galaxies for sure. When you look at this, it's going to really knock your socks off. Look at that. Another galaxy there. Another one down here.
If I remember correctly, the article for the Siamese twin galaxies said that it was more of a line of sight thing, that you're seeing one sort of overlapping, superimposed
Yeah.
on the other one, while these two are definitely interacting.
Yeah, they sure are. Okay, I just noticed something. I'm going to clear this one because
No, I take that back. 4567, 4568 are in the process of colliding and merging.
yeah, so they'll look like the antenna in a few billion years.
Yeah.
They'll
System
start to
is
show
still
evidence.
the 67, 57 and 50, 45, 67, 45, 68 are still in an early phase of interacting.
Okay. See our numbers change right there? This shows us that the guider is working. This is the right ascension correction, and this is the declination correction. And those are pixels or arc seconds. It looks. I don't think they're arc seconds. I think it's a pixel-based one. I am not sure. This is nice. Binga.
I believe the antennae are outlying members of the Virgo cluster. I could be wrong.
Well, they're definitely interacting with each other. You'll notice that they're we don't see it yet, but you see this right here? You see a little bit of a streak here. These are the tails that actually give the antennae its name. Let's try to bring those out a little bit. I'm gonna take our mid-level line here, and the way this works is this right here represents the red, green, and blue data from the camera coming in. These really interesting little shapes here. Okay, this curve, and this yellow line is the intersection. Wherever this goes, it brings in more data. It brings in more along this line. So if I move this to the right, you'll see the yellow line leaves a lot of that peak behind over here, and thus this gets dimmer. But if I bring it to the left, then it's going to get very, very bright. Okay? All right. Now, that's the mid-level Okay, if I take this one, this is the dark level. If the dark level is brought right to where the peak of the black is, right at the peak of the data is, then it's going to get as dark as it can. And you'll notice already that you can start to see those tails a little bit better. And I'm going to zoom this so we can actually do that a little better. So now I'm going to bring us closer to that peak. And now now you see the tails pretty clearly. And again, we only have 5 stacked. If we get to a lot more stacked, then those tails will be very clear. And we'll make sure that they are. Alright. Let's try pulling away some of the noise. Yeah, so you gotta be careful. If we do this push here, you can start to see there is definitely this tail here, and you don't see it right now, but if we zoom out, okay, if we zoom out, you can see the tails now very clearly. All right, and we're going to want to process it so that those tails really show up well. That's pretty. There we go. So let's zoom in more. This galaxy is really interesting. That's had some kind of severe warp. Oh, you can't see it because this is in the way. Go away. Go. There you go. Okay, this galaxy I'm talking about. It's had some severe warpage going on. Look at that. Looks like a spiral with a really badly warped spiral structure. It's had to have interacted with something.
Article for the Antennae says that they're interacting with, I think, 5 other galaxies in their neighborhood.
Wow. Maybe that's one of them.
It must be. And now
Hello,
you
Cindy.
can see that lower tail. Boy, that extends way down to the lower right.
Yeah, you can see it right here.
Yeah.
Hey there, MLR. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Cindy, thank you. Always enjoy your company. So my talk on interstellar UFO propulsion at the conference this past weekend was actually went over pretty well. People really liked it. And if they're going to get there, if they're going to get here from a place like this, well, then it has to be done in such a way that they can actually traverse that great space without actually going through that space. And this dimensional travel is the way to do it. This is really pretty. Okay. Yes, doing Hawaii, these two galaxies are in the process of collision. I should say they've already passed through each other one time so far, at least, and started to loop around each other, dragging out debris, which you can see here and here, giving rise to the name, the Antennae Galaxies. These look like bug antennas. Let's try to take off our unsharp masking.
Yes,
What?
they are colliding.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, he asked the question, he or she, I think, doing Hawaii is probably male, I'm not sure.
Yes, I see that. I answered him. I said, at first, colliding might not be the right word, though they are interacting. They are definitely colliding.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to have a chance to see that too, because our galaxy and the Andromeda Galaxy are in the process of approaching each other to create a collision in a couple billion years. That's billion with a B. MLR says, tonight's my first clear sky in more than a week. Not that I can see much with so much light pollution. Where are you located, MLR? Oh, thanks, Charles. Thanks for letting us know. Doing Hawaii is Charles, yeah. We will remember. Wow. I see that, Charles. Izabela is greeting you. You know, that's what happens around here. Everybody is just like such a tight-knit family. We're all just happy to hang with each other, and it's really cool. Oh, you're in Worcester, Mass. Oh, that's so cool. I almost, I was going to go to Worcester Polytech. I was thinking about the nuclear science because they actually had a functioning student nuclear reactor there. But I ended up going to Wesleyan University to get a degree in astronomy because Worcester Polytech didn't really offer it. You know, they didn't have an astronomy degree that was really good, so I went to Wesleyan instead. All right, that's cool. I've been to Worcester many, many times.
Herculoids. Herculids. The Herculoids was a Saturday morning cartoon
That's
show.
That's right. Remember the Herculoids?
Oh, yeah. I liked that when I was a kid.
That's great. I like that. That's great. Okay, we're up to 15 stacked on this very, very dynamic galaxy collision. You can see some really nice rich detail in this galaxy and a string here of H2 regions of burst star formation that's going on, probably all prompted by the collision between these two galaxies. Can you just imagine the tumult and the chaos in that galaxy? At any one moment, it seems just non-dangerous and very calm at any one moment. But if you saw this in motion, if you put it into motion over, say, let's say 100,000 years at a clip, you'd see the galaxies colliding and splitting off, leaving trails behind them. And it would take, it'd be a lot of frames. So you could do like 500,000 years at a clip and see it happen, and that would be pretty cool. Doing Hawaii says, yeah, oops, this auto-correcting keyboard is broken. Yeah, that's really pretty. Let's see if we can bring out a little more detail. I'm going to play with this here. I'm going to just knock off a little more of the noise, but that takes out too much of our galaxy. I'm going to actually go the other way then. I'm going to take this guy, this dark level, move it, lighten up the background just a bit to help mush out that background or that noise. And let's bring this in. How's that look?
Right there.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Boy, that lower tail goes a long ways.
Look at that. You can very clearly see it now.
Yeah.
Well, again, this is a 45 or 40-second exposure, so now, guys, what I don't do is I don't take like 10-minute exposures. I can, but I don't do it because I don't want you sitting for 10 minutes in between shots. I mean, there's, people do that, and there are streams that do that, and You know, if you like that thing, that's cool. But we try to do the impact. You know, lots of cool objects at any one time. You know, when we just any one stream, I mean. So that's pretty cool.
Mark, when we're done here, can we do the sombrero? Somebody asked about it.
Oh, we did? Did we get a request?
Yes.
All right.
And it is pretty close by, I believe.
Yeah, it's just north of here, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is 19. We'll stop at 20 then. So that's almost done. We've got 8 seconds left, and we'll get the last stacked image. Then we'll pause and save. I've named the antennae up there, as you can see. All right, so we'll pause now. And let's see here. All right, and let's just fling that out there. All right, these are the Antennae Galaxies. All right, and now we'll save the Antennae Galaxies as our FITS file. Save them exactly as seen. And then get out of the stack. All right, there we go. And we're good. Very good. Okay. Now let's go back to 1 second exposures. And go back to our enhanced view. Like that. Even in 1 second we can see the Antennae Galaxies. That's really cool. Alright. Okay, let's pull you out. Alright. Alright. Alright, so now we're near the sombrero, and Daryl's right, because the sombrero, I think, is just above here. Is this the sombrero right here? Let's see. No. That's okay. Alright, let's find it.
Yeah. Just west of Spica.
Okay. So let's go. There's a sombrero, so let's grab it. Alright. We're going to head down to the sombrero. First, I'm going to bring back our system so I can see the process. There we go. So now I got my computer screen back right there. That's the computer in looking at the telescope. So this is our planetarium that's connected to the telescope that guides us there. This is the view into the computer of the telescope. That's the actual view of the telescope in the building. This is our telescope control section here. This is our camera control section here. All right, and of course, this is our main beautiful screen. Yep. And there we go. That's probably Spica itself. Oh, it's Algorab. Look at that. Yeah, sorry. And now we come back here. Micah Riggs, how you doing? Micah says, just found your site. Was awesome. Was that awesome in the stars this evening? Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you for finding us, Micah Riggs. I have a good friend named Micah Hanks, spelled the same way. And there is the Sombrero Galaxy right next to these beautiful little cluster of stars. We're going to zoom in on that, even at this point, and we're just going to center it up. It's already pretty well centered. Izabela says, I can't believe how fast the images come in. Yeah, I know. Everything's been improved by 25 times in speed. That's cool. Micah Riggs says, I am in Las Vegas, Nevada. Where is this being shown to us? Okay, this I'm running the telescope from Connecticut, but the telescope is out in the Arizona desert, 2,500 miles away. So we've actually we put in a system of remote connections and so forth, and we have Starlink for our internet, and that gives us, as I just said, 25 times the speed that we used to have. I think 20 times. Sorry, I think I just exaggerated. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do the Sombrero Galaxy, and this will be 30 second exposure. Okay, and there we go. So now we'll get rid of our... Oh, of course, Micah. You're more than welcome. It's so good to see you here. I love Vegas. I've been there a number of times. And now we're going to go to our live stack here.
Nothing personal, Micah. I think Vegas is one of the last places on Earth I'd ever want to go to.
Well, he didn't ask you now, did he?
No, you talk about light pollution.
Well, okay, from an astronomy point of view, Daryl is right. We would never go to Las Vegas because of all those big columnar lights that are going up in the sky. Yeah, I get it. And of course, but as an attraction, I can tell you I've flown over it many, many times. And man, it is just, I have to say, it's like jewels in the desert, you know, and it's just beautiful. But, you know, as an astronomer, we do have our problems with light pollution. Look at that. That's really nice. Have you ever been to Vegas, Daryl?
Never.
No?
Nope. No desire. Nothing personal. That's just not my cup of tea.
Oh, Starlink. Okay, that's the bad thing about Starlink, okay? There's so many satellites in the sky that it means that we will have a beautiful internet service, but we will get some satellite trails at times. Micah Rigg says, I have a question. My mom took some pictures of the sun, and when she was looking at them, they looked like there was a planet at 2 o'clock in 3 different pics. Could there be planets showing up? No. Actually, to be honest, I see this a lot because I'm actually the Mutual UFO Network's chief photo and video analyst, as well as being an astronomer guy. And I see images of the sun. When people take an image with a camera looking into the sun, you get these lens flares, and you also get these internal lens reflections. Depending on the camera you use, a cell phone is typical. If you use an Apple iPhone, you might get a little blue disc, and it might look really odd because it'll appear in the view. But you can try a little experiment just to see what I'm talking about. If you have it and you're just holding the camera up, you'll see it visually in your view. Move the camera around, and as you move it around, the sun will move around in the frame, and so will that blue disc. It'll move all over the place, indicating that it's something internal to the camera. So try that, Micah, and you'll see what's going on. And Micah says, Mom wants to leave Vegas and head for the country. She's missing the trees and green grass. Hey, you know what? That's why I like Arizona so much, because in Arizona, where we are, it's all desert sand and saguaro cactus. But just north, you get up into Cave Creek, you get up to Sedona, you get up to Flagstaff, and you find that the terrain has changed, the climate has changed, everything has changed. You have beautiful trees and green grass in Flagstaff and up in that region. And if you head to the east, to the northeast, you go into the high desert as well, and you'll see that you have grassy terrain, wonderful trees. You get some, I think, juniper trees up there, and some really excellent pine trees. You got these around Sedona, you got the Coconino's National Forest there, all these beautiful pine trees. It's just stunning. So that state has a variety of beautiful and stunning scenery to see. And, you know, if you like volcanoes, you can drive just north of Flagstaff to Sunset Volcano National Monument. I've been there. and from Flagstaff go east, and you come to Meteor Crater, which is an impact crater that occurred around 50,000 years ago. Go to Flagstaff and go west, and you end up in the Grand Canyon. So that area of the state has some beautiful stuff. And from Flag, you can also go to the Four Corners, where you can actually put your hands and feet in 4 different states, because that's where all the borders come together, and they have a marker, and you can just stand there and say, hey, look, I'm across all 4 states. If you're wanted in one state, just lift your hand and you're not there anymore. Really cool. I think I kind of overexposed the sombrero here, Daryl. You might be muted.
Whoops. Yep. Sorry. What makes you?
That's right.
What makes you say so?
It was actually, it had a halo of brightness that looked like an overexposure. Like, see that? It's overexposed in here.
Oh, okay.
So what I have to do is I'm going to bring up my stack again, and I'm going to play with the processing, and I'm going to move this down substantially. There we go. Now let's zoom in on that. Yeah, there's a beautiful galaxy, and as you can see, it has this dark lane. These are called dark lanes, and what those are interstellar dust made of carbon and silicates, and they're made in stellar atmospheres when the stars get to really be big and distended, when they're red giants. And when they go either into supernova mode, where they obliterate themselves, or they go into planetary nebulae, where they shrink down and become white dwarfs, and they leave behind these shells of gas and dust, then sometimes this gas and dust, or the dust anyway, is going to be left behind and forms these lanes that we see in galaxies. It's debris. It's stellar debris is what it is. And you're made of stellar debris. Every atom in your body was made in a star. That's interesting, Micah. Micah's telling a story about Las Vegas and what he's doing there.
It's grown like crazy there, I gather, and they just it's a problem all over the West. You know, Lake Mead and all that, Hoover Dam. Too many people, not enough water.
Yeah.
The civilization is all that's holding it together.
You know where I want to go? And it's really crazy. It's not there, but I think it's in California, the Salton Sea. That's that. I mean, for scientific interest, I'm really interested in how the Salton Sea developed, as well as Mono Lake. I'm interested in how that developed too, but the Salton Sea is a very interesting location, and its evolution and how it happened. It was actually, like, I think it was a man-made calamity there, actually.
Yes, it was. It's drying up now. And you talk about desert rats. You got some serious desert rats out there around the Salton Sea. I forget what the place is called, Slab City or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of junk there, a lot of abandoned houses, so it's rife for living with rats there, right? Okay, we're gonna pause this now, and I'm going to change this to the Sombrero Galaxy. Okay, and also just give you a label. Okay. All right. So here we go. Right there. There's a great dark lane right there. It's one of the standout galaxies. Hey, Fantasy, how you doing? Okay, so now we're gonna save it. Okay, we're gonna save it exactly as seen. See how much quicker everything's going? This is great.
Oh yeah.
I'm really enjoying this. Okay, now let's drop out. This is what it always should have been. It's always have been this. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to our 1 second frame here. And go into our hybrid mode. Okay. It's 1 a.m. here. All right. Okay, we're going to go to another galaxy that has a beautiful dark lane, and it's much bigger than the Sombrero. This one's about 50 degrees up, so you're going to watch the telescope poking right up. It's going to look pretty high. It's going to look like it's going pretty high. All right, here we go. It's actually 65 degrees up. 65 degrees up high. That's pretty good. We're in Canis Venatici right now. Okay. Let's go see which star it uses. Alright. It's going to use this star right here. Cor Caroli.
The heart of Charles.
Yep. We're going to measure 63, the Sunflower Galaxy. Looks like we are, but I think we're going to the Needle Galaxy. I thought I'd pick the Needle Galaxy.
Sure.
But this one is just a beautiful galaxy.
Cor Caroli was named by I forget who the astronomer was. He was trying to suck up to I think it was Charles II.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do 30 seconds. Take off our enhanced view. Go to our stack. Show you the last image before we clear it. That's the Sombrero. That's going to be on the. That will be up in the database. Actually, it's probably already there. And I will clear it and get this stack ready for the next item here on The Price is Right. And that next item is going to be the Sunflower Galaxy. This is a really pretty galaxy, and I'm gonna show you this in just a sec. I'm gonna get all the labeling done. Galaxy, okay. All right, and then over here, Sunflower Galaxy. And it actually is really cool. Hey Debbie, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome to our stream. I know we just sort of started doing it. Let me throw this out there. Okay, Sunflower Galaxy has an amazing spiral structure. And let's go see that, if we would. Let's first do some processing here. There we go. Pow. Look at that structure already. And I have to make sure that we actually... I gotta make sure that we properly captured a guide star at the right time, because I might have to just start this over. It's slightly off. But look at that, guys. Look at that beautiful, beautiful modeling. Actually, what we can do is we can just go right to full screen, pull that in. There we go. Yep. So you look up here and you see this beautiful spiral structure in here, which is just stunning. Look at these dark lanes right here. These dark lanes are just amazing because these, again, are the dark dust that you see created by stars in their outer atmospheres. As they're getting older and they become red giants, they create this dust in their outer atmospheres, and it ends up getting sprinkled into the interstellar medium when they go supernova, or when they die that slower death like our sun will, where they use up all their hydrogen and expand into red giants and they start to pulsate. And when they pulsate, they push off some of their outer atmosphere, which is so far away from the central star that it just keeps going, and thus it places this material out into the interstellar medium. Just incredible. And that's where that dust comes from.
SCA 63.
The Sunflower Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it looks really pretty tonight. This looks, I mean, I should say spectacular. It looks kind of spectacular.
Yeah.
I think I took off the enhancement too. I might have taken off unsharp masking. No, I left it on. If I turn it off, what's it look like? See, now you can see the nucleus. It might actually help us see a little better. But what I can do is I can put on the unsharp masking, but lower the amount. So bring it down.
Whatever you did last kind of overexposed the core. There you go.
Yeah, this is 0.5. And if we... Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, see? That's 0.6. At 0.6, it overloads the core. But we come down, we get to like 0.3, 0.53. That looks pretty good.
Yeah. I was going to say, we've noted before, there's a very prominent dark lane there to the lower left of the nucleus, that dark line right there. And there's a fainter one closer to the nucleus, also to the lower left.
Hey, hi alpacas, thank you. Yeah, the music has to be just as beautiful music to just like view the universe by. I imagine myself traveling in a spacecraft to these various places, and now that we can do this with a lot more speed, then it's just beautiful. Let's process this a little differently. Thank you, Vera.
Thank you, Vera.
Vera's a sweetheart, isn't she? She
is.
Nice. I'm going to bring our dark background down to try and bring out a contrast.
That makes that one dark lane really prominent.
Yes, that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, and you can see the galaxy continues onto the lower
Oh,
left
here.
of it too. Yes.
Yeah, right here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to remove some of that noise. You see how it looks modeled here? Um, the more we stack, the more it'll get removed. But I want to just remove some of it by dropping this mid-level down. And it'll... Oh, wow. Beautiful. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Wow. You can see this beautiful nucleus, and it's got like this tight ring of spiral arms that we're looking at right here, and then more spiral arms out here. These reddish patches you see here, guys, these are all star forming regions called hydrogen alpha regions, or H2 regions. The designation H2 isn't the numeral 2, it's the Roman numeral 2, so it's II. And the H2 means singly ionized hydrogen. It can only be ionized once because it only has one electron, and that's when the electron leaves the atom, leaving only the nucleus behind. That's ionization. And when that electron rejoins the atom, it gives off red light, which is what we see here in all these little areas. Let's see how close we can zoom in. Okay, that's about it. But again, we've only stacked like, we've stacked 15 of them.
I see one of those bright blue pixel things you mentioned sometimes, but I see some very red objects also. I assume those are stars.
Oh, these are stars, but you see this here? This is a blue one.
Yes.
This is a green one. Okay. You'll find a red one in a variety of places, but those red, if they're round dots, then those are actually stars.
Yeah, there's that really dark cloud at lower left. There's one.
Right there?
Yes, I assume it's foreground to the galaxy.
It could be, but I think these are actually H2 regions in the galaxy. They're actually following the curve of that structure.
Oh, well, yes, of course, that too.
Yeah, this one might be in the galaxy, but it could be foreground. We'd have to look it up in the database.
There's a
Really
very
stunning.
red star there, way off to the lower left, about halfway out to the edge.
Let's go see.
Right there.
Oh, right, this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And another one at about 9 o'clock to the galaxy, about as far out.
Right there.
Yep.
And then we got this one. Yep.
That's a pretty galaxy.
Yeah, we got this remarkable little green-blue thing here. I'm wondering if this is a planetary nebula. Let's go in here and see if there is a planetary nebula next to the Sunflower Galaxy anywhere in this region. It doesn't look it. It doesn't look it. Let me, first of all, let me also do something else. Let's find out where this is. That's pretty good. Okay. And let's come back here and make sure that our telescope is aligned on that point. There we go. That's really good. Hey, C&D boy. I saw you over in Dr. Fox today. Dr. Fox 2000 is a guy that does a wonderful volcano stream. He streams volcanoes live. Wherever they're erupting, he talks about earthquakes and everything. And he's no nonsense, no pretensions. He's just a real down-to-earth guy who loves the science of volcanology. And so I really enjoy his streams. If you can, get to Dr. Fox 2000 on YouTube and subscribe. He's a good guy. And C&D boy, I saw him over there today. Oh yeah, I've been there a lot actually, and he's come here. You know, look at though. This is really pretty. I do want to find out what this is. I wonder if this is some other type of object that we don't know. Could be that it's not showing up on the catalogs we have selected.
Yeah, it is very green.
Yeah. But we know that the green can show up as blue. Or sorry, the blue can show up as green.
Yeah.
Okay, 22 stacked. We'll stop it here. Beautiful, beautiful image. Okay. And I've got the Sunflower Galaxy labeled up top. So we'll save it. And that gives us our FITS file. And then we'll save it exactly as seen. And that gives us our ping file. This will end up in the database in mere seconds. Alright. Now you might ask, why do we look at the same things over and over? Well, you know why? Because there are changes noted in them. Earlier in the evening, you saw the supernova. Well, if these stars that we see in this are all there on previous and past images, then we know there's nothing there that's different. But maybe we might see a supernova. So that's worth doing this for, and it's worth looking. So that's what we like to do. Alright, so let's do this. And go to our hybrid view. Is it Ryan DYC? Ryan says, could you imagine being on the Earth in 1833 and watching the Leonids? Yeah, that was a heck of a show. That was a real show at that point. Yep. Very cool, yeah. All right, well, we're done with this particular galaxy now. So let's pull that away, and now let's go to another object. Also, I want to see my telescope, so we're going to push this out of the way and get my telescope back. Here we go. All right, and let's now bring back the computer. Bam, there we go. And go to our view here, and I want to get recentered. I want to see what else we've got. I mean, we're really starting to look up into the north here.
Oh, there's the Whirlpool just to the upper right.
Right here, you mean? We can look at that while we're here. It's right nearby. So why don't we do that?
Okay.
Here we go. We're going to go to the Whirlpool. So again, 1 second exposure. Off we go. What you see here, it says high precision slewing, finding our waypoint star, and from there it's going to find the Whirlpool and exactly place it. It's actually quite a clever algorithm that does that, and it's the telescope system doing it, not us. But one of the things we noticed is that their database is sometimes dead wrong, and they put us in the wrong place. Ryan says, yes, some people did think it was the end times. You're right, with the Leonid meteor shower, because it was really a storm. We were hoping to see a storm of meteors, and we didn't get to see it, you know. There's the Whirlpool. Before I do it, I want to show you guys something else. All right, we're going to start up this other camera. I want to see if it's going to work tonight. Yeah, it is. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's do one acquisition. 15 seconds. Maximize it. I'm going to show you the all sky camera view of our location. Alright, so it's going to be 1 second away. Here it comes now. Okay, there's the moon setting. This is I believe that's Arcturus, because this is the Big Dipper right here. There's the bowl of the Big Dipper, and you follow the handle down to Arcturus. Okay. And the south is at the top. I'm going to try and correct that when I get out there. I'm going to try and spin the camera around just for you, Daryl, because you were complaining about it. South should be in the bottom, I agree.
It's convention.
The bracket is, yeah, the bracket isn't on that side. Okay, but you notice this right here? That shape, that's the Milky Way coming up. The Milky Way is on its way up. This is the lights of Phoenix, almost 70 miles away. But in a low light, high ISO, low light camera, you're going to see that. You don't see it with your eye, right? You don't see it with your eye. But there you go. Yep. That is our all sky camera that we have out there, and we can sit here and run the all sky camera and let it build up images in the background. And then what we'll do with those images is put them into a little movie, which I did for the meteorite, for the meteor shower. At least I thought I did, but the camera froze on us that night, so that didn't stop working. So, all right, let's do exposure here. This is the Whirlpool Galaxy. It has so many different features that we want to catch them all. So I'm going to do a 45-second exposure and then take off our hypered view. It's a hypered view, like it's like on steroids practically. Allows us to see this brightness. And again, there's our Sunflower Galaxy. One more view of that before we get rid of it. Look at that. That came out really pretty, Daryl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we'll clear it because it's been saved. And Izabela probably put the up there, and she did. Yeah. So Deb B, where are you from? Welcome to the stream, by the way. I don't think we've talked before, but it's good to have you here. Alright, let's get this going while we're waiting for Deb to answer us. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna pause and clear this because we noticed that our focus is out here. So we're gonna change the focus and get the focus properly done. And to do that, we're going to come down here and take off temperature compensation. Go back to 1 second. All right, and by going to 1 second and giving us a hypered view again, now what I'll do is I will come in and I'm going to change the focus. This is the focus segment. So I'm going to head the focus out a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now you see the little donuts. And they're little donuts because there is a secondary mirror in the opening of the telescope. Okay, now we go into Tools, Focus Assistant, and we're going to do a multi-star, full width, half maximum, and we have our stars, and we're going to scan inward to get focus. And as we zoom out, you'll see the stars are being auto-selected. And these stars are going to help us build a curve. And that curve is a focus curve. And you'll see it when we come in. It starts out of focus, comes into focus, and then goes back out of focus. And it will look like a parabola, like a bottom-shaped curve like this. And that bottommost point is the perfect focal point. You can see it's starting to curve already. It's the current spot.
OG Skywatch. I was up on a mountain pass here in Colorado, high up, imaging Hale-Bopp in late March of 1997. It was March 26th and March 27th, if I remember right. I got some great pictures of the comet that night. I also got to see the zodiacal light, and when I packed up the car to drive home, I fired it up and the radio came on, and the first news about Heaven's Gate was on the radio as I drove home, and that just kind of spoiled the night for me.
Yeah, I can see that would.
Yeah. A lot of crazy
Led
people
by a guy who called himself Doe. Okay, we are now focused. Our automated routine is focused the telescope perfectly, I might add. So now we can come in here and do this again. We're going to do a 45 second. That's a quick pick. I want to do that. I want to do a 45-second photo. I want to catch the detail around the outside. And take off our hybrid view and go back into creating a stack, which should be already clear, ready to go. Oh, this is going to be pretty, Daryl. This is going to be really pretty.
Well.
The guiding looks good right now. The guiding looks like it's going 0.1 and 0.3 in the right ascension, but 3.6, 3.8 in the declination. All right. So we've got 10 seconds until we see the image. This is the Whirlpool Galaxy we're looking at right now. The Whirlpool Galaxy is in Canes Venatici, and it is around 23 million light years. Ah, look at that. There it is.
It's really crisp now.
Yeah. And so what we're going to do is we're going to slide over our dark level to near the peak so we get as much darkness as we can. And then that, of course, moves it closer to the mid-range, which, of course, increases noise. So what we do is we move that back down, and we get rid of the noise a little bit. And see what's happening? It's more balanced now. Ah. Hey, our theme song's playing. Hey, go away. Oh, that's beautiful.
When you see the whirlpool, folks, this is a classic example of two galaxies interacting. And from the distortion of the lower spiral arm, I think we've talked about this before, I'd have to guess where that upper satellite galaxy is now. It passed by to the lower left, moving to the upper left to where it is now. You see the distortion. See the distortion. Yeah. You see the distortion in the lower arm, and then up to where it's kind of pulled a bridge out from the spiral arm on the left side of the main galaxy.
Oh,
and it's all buzzed out there above it. And as Marc was saying, I think try to look at it three-dimensionally, that that satellite galaxy is actually sort of behind the main galaxy, farther away.
Yeah, from the front, what we're seeing now is we're seeing this. We're seeing a galaxy and the satellite galaxy. But if you turn it on its side, okay, and looked at it from the side, it would be looking like this. Okay, this is a warped disk, and that's what this is doing right here. This is a warp. All right, and it's actually going into the page, all right, and toward that galaxy, which is further away, further into the page. Well, I think we're going to get rid of that guy. Yeah, what's with this spamming going on here? Izabela's right on it. Thank you, Izabela.
Yeah, she beat me to it. Thank you, Izabela.
Actually, just block him from the page. Permanently. No hope of ever returning. Look at this. This is beautiful. Hey, you know what? I have to tell you, Deb B. The first sign of a successful stream is when you start getting the spam like that.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Thanks, Izabela. Thanks, Cordy. Of course, Cordy WAP is the top row of the keyboard on any keyboard. Look at this. This is beautiful. The Whirlpool Galaxy has got a lot of interesting features. I'm going to go into the enhancement on this and see. We're at 53, and I want to see if this galaxy also is going to respond to too much brightness at. Yeah, see at 60 it doesn't. But let me pump it way up. I want to show you something. Okay, you can see these dark lanes in here. Again, all created by interactions from the stars in this galaxy. Interesting thing about the spiral arms in this one galaxy. I read a study which says that these spiral arms were not there before, but were induced by this galaxy passing nearby. Okay, and there's ways in which that occurs that actually cause the spiral arms to get placed into a galaxy, and that's what we're seeing here. Okay, this is a potential what's called a density wave that's been I don't want to say perpetrated on, but created in the galaxy by the passage of this galaxy here. And these two galaxies are forever locked for the remainder of their existence. They're going to continue to orbit each other and move in and out of each other until one absorbs the other. Most likely the main whirlpool absorbing this one, and then the two become a whole new type of galaxy perhaps in the future. Maybe that's where other things come from that we've seen in the universe. Maybe that's where ring galaxies come from.
If you look at the inner spiral arm on the left side at about 10 o'clock, 9:30 or 10, right there, there's that little kink in it.
Yep.
Can we zoom in on that anymore?
Yeah, we can.
I wonder what did that.
Wait, hold on, let me sorry, hold on, let me just grab it, get in there. Just drag it. Okay, here we go. Right now, just go in there.
Or I suspect maybe the inside of the kink looks like it's actually a dark cloud.
Yeah, this looks
Or
like
maybe that's
all dust in here.
yeah.
And it kind of looks
then
like
the
it
bright
kinda feeds into this.
Yeah, the bright fuzz to the outside of that dark cloud. Maybe that's star formation.
Yeah, now I'm going to take down the this high amount of sharpening, and let's bring it back to a more reasonable level. Okay, let's go to 1. Oh, Fantasy has a good question. I missed it, Deb. But let's see. Is this kind of what Andromeda and Milky Way will eventually end up doing? Yes, a very good question, Fantasy. You're right. You know, that guy's smart. The collision between the Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way. The Milky Way is smaller than the Andromeda Galaxy. The Andromeda Galaxy has up to 1 trillion stars, while we have about 150 billion, maybe 200 billion. There were estimates up to 400 billion in the past. But the Andromeda Galaxy Milky Way merger is going to at some point look sort of like this, but unfortunately that's going to be the Milky Way. And the Andromeda Galaxy is going to absorb us. And then we're going to end up being a satellite galaxy of the Andromeda Galaxy, but they'll be two reasonable sized galaxies.
I always imagined them imagine them winding up looking sort of like the antennae.
Mm.
They'll
I'm
dance
sure they
around
would.
each other and
Yep.
fling the tails out and all that stuff.
Yep, they will. They will indeed. Let's go over to our histogram section. And let's drag some of the noise away, shall we? Oh yeah, look at that, huh? Now if we just pull this out a bit, we can actually see some of the other material that's outside here, and that's what I want to show you. Okay, see this? A lot of material here, a lot of stuff here. This really extended arm down here, this fan. This is the result of galactic collision, guys. This is what it looks like. Being torn asunder, but all in slow motion.
If you look at that inner spiral arm on the left side again, where I was talking about before, then if you look at that same spiral arm farther down and farther up, both on either side of that little dark notch, you can see a very distinct dust lane, dark lane on the inside of that spiral arm, and it looks almost like that dark spot it got tugged out by the passing satellite galaxy.
Yeah, you're talking about this right here?
Yes.
Yeah. It does. It does, and it could very well be. Let's see if we can bring this out a little more. We've got 14 stacked right now. Just a second. Okay. Let me put this out there. Put that right there. There we go. That's what we're looking at. Let me move this up.
Tara and Marie, you just need to date more astronomers, that's all.
I think that Daryl's probably correct, Taryn. And now Deb is saying another good question from OG about black holes. Yeah, the supermassive black holes. I gotta find OG's question directly, just to make sure that I didn't miss it. I obviously did, because Deb, you're very good at reminding us. Thank you so much. And by putting, okay, that's what happens if two black holes hit each other. Very good question. Thank you, Deb, for pointing that out. And by putting in our name of our stream there, I actually see it right off the bat, so that's good. OG says, what happens if there's, say, two massive central black holes in each of these galaxies? What happens to them if they collide with each other? Going into collision would be very rare, but what they would probably do is go into highly elliptical orbits around each other.
Yep.
And because they're very massive, they're going to retain all of their stars and pull the stars with them and form the gravitational centers of these respective galaxies as they start moving around each other. But what happens when they collide is the question. When they collide, that's when we see something amazing, because black holes, when they collide, one's going to absorb the other, but in the process of absorbing the other, it's going to grow by the mass of this other black hole, which is already supermassive. And when it does that, it's going to give off massive waves of gravity. And that's when we see these gravitational waves being issued out of these spaces. We don't see them until they get here, because we don't see the collisions unless we kind of know where to look and have some clues. And we've had some luck with that. But in this particular case, when those black holes, these supermassive black holes, it might be in both of these, do come near each other, if let's suppose they do collide, the gravitational waves will make their way to us, the 20 some odd million years in the future when they finally get here, and they will be detectable by Earth-based detectors, and there is a laser interferometric gravitational wave observatory called LIGO, L-I-G-O. That's what that stands for. And there's two in the United States. There's one in Washington State and one in Louisiana. And then we have another detector of similar phenomena in Italy called the Virgo detector. And so the Virgo detector and the LIGO detectors here detect these waves arriving at the Earth, and based on the separate times of arrival, we can figure out where they are, what their strengths are, what probably did it, and where they originate. I think that's pretty cool.
I saw an article earlier today that talked. I guess some people now think that the Milky Way may have two supermassive black holes in or near the center of the galaxy.
It's greedy. It's a greedy little thing.
Izabela, same speed. They move at the speed of light. Izabela asked what is faster, light or gravity waves.
Okay.
Both move at light speed.
Yeah. Actually, to answer your question, Debbie, because you're in Washington, which is great, it's in Hanford, Washington. LIGO is in Hanford, Washington. I don't know how far you are from Hanford. It's basically, I guess that's southeastern Washington, right? But that's where the LIGO detector is. This is gorgeous. Look at this thing. Look at this. It is. We've stacked 21 images of the Whirlpool Galaxy, and it's just looking beautiful. So, possible gamma ray burst, most energetic force we know of. Gamma rays rank right up there, yeah. I mean, there's possibly some emissions in excess, higher energies. And these might be associated maybe with hypernovas or kilonovas, or possibly colliding neutron stars. So there's, but gamma rays are the great sterilizer, as I call them, because if you have a gamma ray burst strike your planet, it's very rare that you're going to survive.
Yeah. At least on the side of the planet that's facing the source of gamma rays.
Yeah, but the gamma ray burst may last several hours, in which case you might rotate around into the rotisserie and be baked.
True.
You know, and you may not even know what's happening. That's the other thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is great. Look at this. Wow. I mean, I'm seeing modeling in here, detail in here I haven't seen before in that Whirlpool.
Uh-huh.
And we're at 145%. Go ahead, Daryl. Sorry.
It's like I've talked about Abu Huraira before. I was thinking about this last night when I went to bed. The Abu Huraira impact, and if you've seen the stone columns at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, some of the figures carved on those columns, I've seen speculation that they may have actually recorded what happened at Abu Huraira when it's the Younger Dryas impacts and all that stuff, that a series of cometary bodies hit the Earth, and one of them exploded right over a place called Abu Huraira in present-day Syria, not far from Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. And just imagine you're going about your business 12,000 years ago, you know, tending your sheep or whatever, and all of a sudden overhead it's like a flash bulb went off. But that flash bulb is big enough and bright enough and hot enough that the temperature raised to thousands of degrees instantly and basically vaporized everybody and everything.
Yeah.
You never know. You know, it just, boom, it happens, and all of a sudden, you know, you're gone.
Yeah.
We haven't seen
Very
anything
interesting.
like that happen in a long time.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it won't, but
This is
just like
true.
we need protection from asteroid strikes, we're going to need protection from gamma ray bursts eventually. But
Well,
there's nothing in our near vicinity, near us, star-wise, that's going to cause a problem for us. But we do rotate around the galaxy. We've gone around almost 20 times in the 4.6 billion years since we've been doing so. So I think that it's actually a foregone conclusion that someday we will encounter this. Now, Cordy, I think, had a question, right? Okay, let's see. Oh, a far-out question. A theory that donut-shaped singularities exist in black holes. And if black holes are big enough and rotating fast enough, should it theoretically be possible to pass through? All right, I'm going to tell you about that because... do you remember the movie Interstellar? Right? Now, there was a famous astrophysicist who was the guy who was the consultant for that movie. You remember him, Daryl? Kip Thorne.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I sat with Kip Thorne for about 3 hours one day, and he was talking about black holes and how they operate. And one of the things that became very, very, very clear right away was that there's no way to pass the event horizon without being stretched out into a string of spaghetti. In other words, ripped to pieces violently. Or, depending on your speed, going around in an orbit around the black hole, ripped to pieces slowly and tortuously. So, getting into a black hole, you would do so quite dead. There would be no way, and there's no ships that could survive that differential gravitational field, which gets very, very, the gradient gets very, very high the closer you get to the event horizon. So when it gets high like that, there's no way for you to get through there and survive in one piece. Now there's a theory that says that our universe is an extremely massive black hole that we're all inside of. That'd be kind of cool, but it doesn't have any indication that that's true. But it's neat idea.
I've seen that speculation about black hole donuts before.
Mm-hmm.
That you might be able to fly through it. I guess the idea is like a wormhole or something.
Yeah, and what Thorne was talking about was, the speculation that if there was such a donut, maybe we could actually utilize it. If we could avoid being stringified, okay, then he talked about time travel using black holes, where we'll call it time travel, but where before you actually go into this black hole, the corresponding white hole, as he called it, which is the energy outflow from the black hole, considering it's like a wormhole type thing. If that was true, as you were about to go in, you would actually see yourself coming out of the white hole before you actually entered the black hole. And it has to do with the information transfer and the way it transfers through that wormhole. Extremely complex and really quite hard to fathom.
Yeah. I've heard that white holes would be like black holes moving backwards in time.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to pause at 30 frames here. This is a stunning photograph. Izabela, if you don't do processing on this, you're out of your Bulgarian mind, because although you do some fantastic work for us from Sofia, Bulgaria, I love the image processing you've done as well, and you've come a long way with it, so don't lose that. Okay, there we go.
I'm gonna have to go here pretty quick.
All right, I think I put this in the wrong directory, so I'm going to change it. Okay, I'm going to put M51 Galaxy. All right. Oops.
You know what I'd like to see?
What? The needle?
You mentioned it earlier, one of your favorite objects this time of year. And it's not far away.
Okay, just a sec.
Right on the other side of the handle of the Big Dipper, in fact.
Yeah. Talk about M81?
M101.
M101, the pinwheel, yeah, okay.
Excuse me just a second.
Yeah, sure. Yes. Alright, so now we're gonna save this again. Yeah, I know that. Yes. Rename. Don't worry about that. We'll get it up there. And now we're going to say, in the live stacking, we're going to go and save it again because we have Whirlpool Galaxy. It'll save. There it is. And it's going to save exactly as seen. Oh, it's just so different from what this used to be. I'm sorry, guys. I keep crowing about it, but we are now moving at light speed now out here, and it's beautiful. All right. We're saving this. It's gone. We're deleting that from the stack. We're deleting that stack, and it's on its way up to the directory. And now let's go back to our 1 second interval. Give ourselves this thing here. And now we're going to check out one object that is just beautiful. Daryl said it. It's Measure 101. It's a gorgeous galaxy that has beautiful spiral arms. It's actually a galaxy that is face on to us. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do first is just come back here for a sec. Is let's actually bring back my telescope. I want to see the scope here. Go, there you go. All right, so I see everything up there, and then I want to move a little bit to the west right now with this. Move this over. There we are. Okay, welcome back, Daryl.
Thank you.
All right, sure. And now we're going to go to Measure 101. Which is right there. That's called the Pinwheel Galaxy, also known as New General Catalog number 5457. So here we go. I'm glad you guys are asking lots of questions in the chat. That's fantastic, and I have no problem answering them, and I'm sure Daryl doesn't either. Let's get rid of this. This is not our object anymore. All right. So we're at Alcade, which is the N star in the handle of the Big Dipper.
Sure is.
And it's bright, but then we have to go to auto here so you can see what it looks like. And then from there you're going to see the pinwheel, the fuzzy pinwheel will show up right here. There it is. Look at that. This is going to be another one of those absolutely stunning objects. If you look where the telescope's pointing up there, it's actually pointing away from us. That's toward the back of the observatory. That's north, that direction. So everything's going to be kind of upside down, I think, when we get to this. But don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. All right, so let's go and let's do a... I'm not going to do a quick video. I'm going to just do this here. Okay, this is going to be a 35-second exposure. And we're going to get rid of our hybrid view and go into a live stack mode. And geez, this is going to be nice. I'm telling you, I can sense it. Our guiding is going on right there. You can see the guiding going on. You can't see the guiding telescope because it's on the back side right now, but it's a long tube sticking out, and it's sticking up in this. It's aligned with the main tube, and it's guiding on a small star in this field. Ready for this? Here comes the first view of the pinwheel. Ready? Ah, oh, look at that. That looks really pretty. Wow. What a majestic galaxy this is, isn't it? We got another one down here. Very, very majestic galaxy. Look at this. Yeah. Okay, come here, you. I want to see you bigger. Come on, there we are. That's just beautiful.
Ryan, your question, would we be able to see a gamma ray burst coming? Would there be any warning? And I answered you first, probably not, since it moves at the speed of light. Then I said if we were watching a candidate object, it might give us clues that a gamma ray burst was about to happen.
Neutrinos.
That too, but I mean, that'd be a very short warning. Probably the two most likely objects I would guess would be Betelgeuse or Antares that are reasonably close to us, that they're still probably too far away to really have any effect on us, but who knows that Betelgeuse is, you know, like when it was getting darker a couple of years ago, it might be showing us signs that, you know, we perceive the thing might actually be getting ready to cut loose, go supernova.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know.
But gamma rays from Betelgeuse wouldn't hurt us. Just make that clear. Even from Sirius, about 8 light years away, Sirius would not go supernova, but if it did, it would actually not hurt us either from 8 light years away. But within a light year or 2 light years, we could get some effect. Oh, Fantasy says, I never want to lose Betelgeuse, man. I love Orion. Well, let me tell you something about Orion. You feel the same way, right?
Yep.
But Betelgeuse was a hot O-star just a few thousand years ago, meaning it was bright and blue. It wasn't red.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, right in my eye. Jesus, cover your mouth. Gee, I'm kidding, of course. He's in Colorado. No, but Betelgeuse is an evolved star. It's an evolved red giant now, but it used to be an O-type star. It stopped using its hydrogen because it ran out, and began converting helium into carbon into nitrogen and oxygen and more. And so it's actually building a core of heavier elements. But as it does so, it's actually expanding in size. If you put it where the sun is, it goes out past the orbit of Mars and could actually go almost to Jupiter. In fact, there's a study of Antares, another one, which shows that Antares is way bigger than we thought it was. Did you see that study, Daryl?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Did you see the study about Antares being much larger than we originally thought?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, it has an extended atmosphere that was not noticed and not known about. But let's stick with Betelgeuse for a minute. Betelgeuse is 750 light years away, so when we see it now, we see it as it was, 750 years ago. So it could already have gone off, and the light train hasn't reached us yet. You know, at the end of the train is the supernova explosion. But Betelgeuse was an O-star, so O-stars only live a few million years, and then they explode in a supernova. And when they explode in a supernova, they litter the cosmos with their guts, which is elements made in their cores, which is what you're made of, and that's where you come from, is the cores of these stars. You know, what I'm getting at is, and I've mentioned this a number of times. Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis, the precursor to all humans on our planet, supposedly. Lucy lived around 4.2, 4.3 million years ago. At that time, Betelgeuse was a hot O-star, and it would be a bright blue star in the upper left of Orion. However, you might say, well, that would look beautiful with the belt of 3 stars. Well, it might have if those 3 stars were there, but the belt only had a belt of 1. There was only 1 star there at the time. And that's because the other 2 hot O stars had only come into existence just under 4 million years ago. And that means that when Lucy was around 4.2, 4.3 million years ago, well, Lucy didn't see the belt of Orion because there was no belt of Orion. So the universe is dynamic, but it changes on the time scales of many hundreds of thousands and millions of years.
You started talking about Antares, and then you drifted off.
No, I had started talking about Betelgeuse, and I drifted to Antares, and then I went back to Betelgeuse.
Okay.
Yeah. So, go ahead and I'm sure you probably must have looked up something about Antares.
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say, Antares. See, we're learning new things all the time, and in the universe, nothing is ever constant, right? Our data's changing all the time. After all, look at this beautiful shot. All we have is the light coming to us, right? This is it. We only have the light filtering to our eyes through our telescopes. This is actually kind of cool. This is very majestic music for a galaxy. Listen. I love that. Beautiful. Beautiful galaxy. So, this galaxy then, the Pinwheel, you can see these beautiful blue spiral arms. This is where new stars are being formed. You can see some pink areas in here. Those are star-forming regions. And of course, you see dark dust and so forth in between. And look at this bright blue arc. That bright blue arc, that is a series of stars known as an OB association. Stars that are O's and B's that are extremely bright, extremely prolific, extremely powerful in the ultraviolet, and they are pumping out a lot of radiation. It's probably not anything you could exist in over here, but it's all the other many stars within the galaxy that are not the powerhouses, that are the quiet and demure little guys in the background, percolators of the universe, like M-type dwarfs that have their own dilemmas and flares. But you have many, many stars like the Sun, which is a G-type star, and K-type stars, and A-type stars even, and F-type stars that are kind of intermediate temperature and possibly able to support planets with, dare I say, life. Hi, Rascally Rabbit. Wow, this is really pretty. Look at this, there are 15 stacked, and this is stunning.
Uh-huh.
Another perfect one.
Something obviously interacted with them one-on-one, too, to tear that left-hand spiral arm up like that.
Might have been this companion galaxy, possibly.
Yeah.
This is the United States Air Force string orchestra. I believe this is a Bach piece. Air.
Air.
These are live images, guys. That's what I think makes this so special, is that this is all live. You know, we're pulling this out of the air.
Sorry, I had to go listen to it.
No, that's good.
You know, the spiral arm on the left, below the crook there, at about 9:30 and about 8 o'clock to the center of the galaxy. I assume those are big old OB associations or something of the sort.
This right here?
Yeah, that one.
Or are you talking about these? Because these are also large scale hot young stars. But then you got all this rich, fertile ground with redder and cooler stars out here that could be the homes of many a civilization.
Yeah, specifically I meant the one at about 9:30 in that outer arm on the left, and then there's another one lower down.
Oh, that one.
That one.
That one. This
and
one.
then another one. Yes.
There's a little thing here. This little fan-shaped thing. That's got to be. That's a very interesting one. We got this whole arc right here. We have this outer arc here. Look at that. We have this arc in this here. These are all the hot young stars. This is where they all form, is in the spiral arms. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Well, thank you for showing that, Mark. That's beautiful.
Yeah, well, I figured since you were going to go, I'm probably going to go. But I wanted to end on a high note, and that is the Pinwheel Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually at 113% too, Daryl. So we're actually a little higher than 100%. 100% is the natural scale of the sensor. Okay, so there's a lot more out there. You know, there's like a whole ton more out here and a whole ton more out here that we could see. And if we just fit it to the screen, that's what this auto is. So now you'll see the size of it on the sensor. Okay. So that's the, and again, these diagonals I'm getting rid of when I go out there next month. Yes, air on the G string. That's right, Izabela. That's right. Every time we hear it, we're going to hear that. Actually, every time I hear it, I think of a wonderful simulator that was a simulator for getting off the Earth. And when you actually got into orbit, that music would start playing. It was really cool. Thank you, Cindy. I'm glad you enjoy this. I love bringing this stuff to you guys because I know you appreciate it.
Well, Mark, I am going to call it a night here, I think. My body is saying I should have been in bed an hour ago. But,
yeah.
Seeing too much neat stuff.
Yeah,
thanks for coming,
we'll
everybody. And oh, yeah. Well, we're getting close to summer now. Galaxy season's kind of heading off into the sunset, so to speak.
Oh, look at this.
Ursa Major's way over in the northwest now.
You sure want to go? I don't know. Look at this. Yeah, you got it. I know you got to go. I should too. I mean, I literally drove hundreds of miles, and I'm on artificial gravity right now.
Oh yeah. No, that's
after this last. Go ahead.
Beautiful way to end the evening.
It is. After my talk in New York State at the conference, they're calling me Captain Graviton now. That's kind of silly.
I believe it.
Because we haven't even seen gravitons yet. Okay, let's get my telescope back here so I can look at what's going on. There we are. Okay. All right, we have 25 stacked right now, and we'll have 26. And we're going to stop there. There's 26. We're going to pause. And I'm going to change this to Pinwheel Galaxy. Okay. And now
Oh, that's
I'll
beautiful.
center it up. Yeah, this will be up on the server in a few seconds, guys. And again, these are all free. And knowing that I zoomed in on this, when you see the auto size where it's really small, you know you can zoom in and save it at that size, and it will look beautiful. Okay. So we're saving that. Done. And we'll save it exactly as seen. Well, there it is. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I really had a good time. And I see from the many chat comments that you have too. And I appreciate you coming here. And we are the Deep Sky Observatory on the internet. I haven't seen anybody else doing this. And we give this data away for free, you know, and we love doing it. So on behalf of Daryl and myself, I bid you good night. And hopefully we will be back soon. And when the moon comes up more, we'll take pictures until it's about waxing gibbous. By then, the sky brightness is kind of overwhelming the faint stuff we like to look at. But it's okay.
Good night, everybody.
We might do some early morning streams as well, and get a sneak preview of the summer. But we're not there yet. Sorry, Daryl. I didn't mean to roll over you right there.
Oh, that's all right. Summer's only 2 weeks away.
I know, it's so cool.
Summer solstice and earliest sunrise and latest sunset are a week on either side of it, and
yeah,
it'll be summertime before you know it.
I know.
Okay.
Well,
good night, everybody.
We'll be there soon, guys. Good night, everybody. You have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon.